winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood. Funding for the future, Blue Lives Matter, stories of Springsteen, horsing around, and cards for condolences. More than $42,000 has been raised for the children of a woman found dead in her Hazlitt residence last month. Christine Jidniszewski was strangled to death on December 27th by her husband, Richard, who proceeded to kill himself afterwards. The couple left behind 2 children, ages 2 and 7. To support these youngsters who have faced an unimaginable tragedy, the children's aunt is collecting money for a trust fund to provide for their college education and future. The goal is to raise $50,000. To donate, visit gofundme.com/forchristine. For more of the stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mark Rossman with more headlines.
Parents whose children attend the Manalapan Englishtown Regional School District have joined the chorus of parents from other districts who are pushing back against a new standardized test their children are scheduled to take this spring. The parents' concern with the state-mandated Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Career Testing has reached a point that is requiring local school administrators to react. Parents are asking administrators to come up with options that will be available for pupils who refuse to take the PARCC exam. In Manalapan Englishtown, it is expected that parents will have the option to keep their child out of school on testing days or to arrange to have their child taken out of school during testing hours. If a student remains in school during the testing hours, the child will be expected to sit alongside his or her classmates. But while the other pupils are taking the test on computers, that child can read a book and then receive a voided test. One parent said she does not agree with a curriculum that wants children to become, in her words, professional test takers. To learn more about this issue in the Manalapan Englishtown School District, see this week's news transcript.
And here's Jeremy Grossman on a program that aims to bring the Latino community together.
If there's anything that Two River Theater collaborator Jerry Ruiz took away from the first phase of the theater's Nosotros program, it's that the Latino population in Monmouth County has a very strong unity. They're also really content with Red Bank and with the surrounding area, Ruiz said. The Nosotros program, which kicked off late last year, is one of the initiatives that the Two River Theater is creating to welcome the surrounding Latino community to the theater. Throughout December, Ruiz, along with playwright Tanya Sirocco, spoke with approximately 30 Latino residents and invited them to share their stories of being Latino in Monmouth County. As a result, Ruiz and Sirocco will create a play inspired by their interviews, which the Two River Theater will then develop. The program will resume with more interviews and sessions in early 2015. One experience that stood out for Ruiz was the difficulty many residents had in crossing the border into the United States, especially for women. To learn more about the Two River Theater's Nosotros program and more about the theater's initiative to embrace the Latino community, visit gmnews.com.
And here's a roundup of headlines from this week's papers. An Edison teacher was named one of 6 finalists in the state for an award honoring outstanding science and math teachers. Noah Coulter, a 5th grade teacher at Wardlaw Hartridge School, was recognized at an event last month for the Presidential Awards for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. We've all seen the Black Lives Matter initiative on Twitter, but one Metuchen woman is coining a new phrase, Blue Lives Matter. Overwhelmed by the news of the fatal shooting deaths of NYPD officers Rafael Ramos and Wenjin Liu last month, Amanda Bolvito made a sign stating Blue Lives Matter and stood in front of Borough Hall to show her support for law enforcement. New Jersey native Bruce Springsteen and his music are synonymous with a lot of things about the Garden State, from the working man to Atlantic City. But what does he have to do with crime fiction? Well, a new book called Trouble in the Heartland features crime fiction stories that revolve around the songs of Springsteen and features works by a local photographer, Mark Krajnak. A group of South Brunswick residents has started a card-making campaign for families and friends of those recently killed in Peshawar, Pakistan. A terrorist attack in December left almost 150 people dead, most of whom were schoolchildren. To join the local campaign and send messages of condolences and hope to those affected by the incident, see this week's editions of Greater Media newspapers. And here's Mike Pavlichko of Greater Media's WCTC with an update on Rutgers basketball. After that, we have Tim Morris with more on local sports.
Well, it's a new year, but the woes continue against ranked ball clubs for the Rutgers women's basketball team. We all knew in any sport for Rutgers there would be a step up in competition this season to make the jump to the Big Ten. But if there was any team and any coach that we figured could do it, it would be the Rutgers women and C. Vivian Stringer. They didn't make the NCAA tournament last year, rare for Hall of Fame head coach C. Vivian Stringer, but they did make the WNIT, so they had some experience in big games. And they played some ranked ball clubs last year, but they also didn't have success last year. They're used to this top-flight competition. Out of conference, Stringer always likes to play the best. She says to be the best, you have to play them. And they always face the likes of UConn and Notre Dame over the years in conference. So, what's going on? Well, Stringer doesn't seem to have any idea. They're now 0-2 in conference after a tough home loss to number 20 Iowa. They lost to Tennessee and North Carolina, ranked ball clubs earlier this season. They need to beef up that resume if they're going to get in the NCAA tournament. Get back to it this year. That's been lacking so far, that signature win, something Stringer hasn't figured out. She also hasn't figured out why this team has been tentative on offense. And they need better play off the bench. All things that have been lacking so far. But hey, I don't want to be a complete Debbie Downer. They are 10-4 this season. They'll be in the top 25. And by the way, congratulations to the Rutgers men's basketball team for picking up its first Big Ten win back on Saturday at home against Penn State. One of my great childhood memories, 1989 against Penn State, the Atlantic 10 championship game at the RAC. Worst to first, Rutgers beats the Nittany Lions, goes to the NCAA's. Bob Wenzel, dream big dreams. A lot of fun in those days on the banks, and always nice to beat Penn State like RU did on Saturday. I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
High school basketball teams spent the holiday season playing in tournaments throughout the state. One of those was the 7th annual Huskies Holiday Hoops Classic, hosted by Matawan High School. The 8-team tourney included squads from the Shore Conference, Greater Middlesex Conference, and Staten Island. The final pitted the Shore's Manalapan against Old Bridge of the GMC. Manalapan in red was led by tournament MVP Kyle Mullen, number 15, who was dominant inside all game. Mullen's contributions didn't stop on the offensive end. Defensively, he was a factor as well, as he shows with this blocked shot. That started the Manalapan transition game, led by point guard Michael Menezia. Manalapan used Mullen for the inside-outside game, which here gets a 3-point shot from Venezia. Mullen could run the floor as well as post up to score. Defense like this and the shooting of number 5, Connor Romano, kept the Old Bridge Knights in the game. Down by 2 points and 20 seconds to play, Old Bridge tried to get off a tying or potential winning shot, but the Manalapan defense would have nothing to do with that. Great play produced this desperation shot and one final Mullen rebound, as the Braves got to celebrate a championship. Tim Morris, Greater Media Newspapers.
It is going to be a green year for New Jersey. Here's Taylor Lear on open space funding.
Several parks throughout Monmouth County will be receiving improvements thanks to the county's municipal open space grant program. Now in its 12th year, the program helps to improve park facilities and fund the acquisition of park property. The funding comes from the allocation of $2 million from the county's Open Space Trust Fund, approved by the Monmouth County freeholders. All 53 municipalities in Monmouth are eligible for the program, and this year, 15 have been awarded grants for various improvements. The municipalities that have received grants will have a little over 2 years to complete their projects. For more information about the Open Space Grant Program, check your local paper this week.
And Oceanport Stable is not horsing around when it comes to ownership. Here's Kenny Walter.
A local stable is giving racing fans an opportunity to get in on the action of horse ownership without the hefty cost of purchasing a horse or the consistent expenses associated with it. Kenwood Racing is allowing investors to own 5% of a racehorse with a one-time fee through the Taste of Thoroughbred Ownership program. The program began in 2011 with a group of 4 initial co-owners. Since then, there has been 21 different ownership groups and a total of 53 individuals participating in the program. For more information, please visit gmnews.com.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. Keep up with the latest headlines at facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea. See you next time.